Well, would you look at this? We are back. Back by very popular demand, and it's been tough. It has been tough, my friends. I've seen all the messages, I've seen all the comments, I've seen all the tweets or the X's, I don't know what we call them. I've seen everything. People asking for the return of the 10 and the 7, very popular program that was building some great momentum before the summer, and then we just crashed. But here we are, like a phoenix rising out of the ashes. Here we are, back and better than ever. The 10, Ariel Helwani. The 7, our good friend from Curitiba, Brazil, Luciana Andrade. We're back, my friend. How are you? Long time no speak.
Back like we never left.
Yes,
Like you never left.
both of us. This is a team, okay? We don't point fingers.
Oh, let's not start pretending it's not your fault here, but I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I mean, you've had a very busy summer. You got married. You've been traveling all over the place. No, you're laughing.
Talk about this. Don't even.
What do you mean? If we are to compare each other's schedules and lives, your life infinitely more
Okay,
different than we
mister,
last spoke.
you've been traveling all over.
Yeah, but I'm
It's
not getting married.
London, it's Israel,
I'm not
whatever
getting.
else you've been to. Come on.
It's very, 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 very busy. The stuff that you're doing. You're going to almost every single UFC event, so we have a lot to catch up on. That's the
No,
exciting
that's
part.
not true.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And so this
Mm,
will be our highest viewed episode yet. The people are going to be so excited because we have a lot to catch up on. You just got back from Las Vegas, Noche
true.
UFC,
Correct.
which was such a great
Yes.
time. But I was
It
wondering,
was so fun.
As a Brazilian, like, did you kind of hate it? Do you not like Mexico? Because is there a rivalry
Why
between
would I
Brazilians?
not?
I don't know if it was a rivalry between
We're
Brazil.
so far away from the borders now. No, we,
Nothing.
we have nothing against Mexicans. We actually like Mexicans a lot. Yeah, they're so friendly. Their food is great. They have a good vibe. They're very similar to Brazilians, actually.
Can you understand Spanish if
A
you
little
speak?
bit. Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
But what it was amazing, right? The mariachi bands,
It was
the
so
vibes.
fun. I liked it. I liked the energy, the crowd, the colors. Everybody was wearing green and red. It was cute.
I asked you if you could get me one of those jerseys. Did you happen to get one in XL?
I didn't even have one
What do you mean
myself.
you were wearing it?
Oh, yeah, but we only
You
did it
gave it
for the
back?
photo. Yeah, because we only did it for the photo.
What? They didn't give
I
you
know,
one to
I know.
keep?
It was
That's
so
kind of whack.
cool. It was so cool. I should have bought it, but yes, it was so cool.
Okay. So does that mean you didn't get me a jersey?
Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Have you ever got me anything? Like a gift?
Uh, that microphone.
Well, does that count? I guess as a
I
gift.
guess it does. I guess it does.
'Cause it kind of benefits you, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, the sound. I am a stickler for sound, but it was great. The scene was great. You seemed
Hmm.
to enjoy it. You loved the main event. Two women fighting in the main event, right?
That was really good. What a great man. Okay, what's your take on that?
On the main event, I feel like
Yeah.
Valentina won 3-2, and I think she won the. Oh man, now I'm starting to the first, the third,
Third
and the fourth.
and fifth, the fourth?
Fifth
No, I
was
thought the
Alexa.
fourth. I thought the fourth was a little controversial too,
Yeah, that was a
wasn't it?
close one.
Yeah.
But the
Could
biggest
could go either
controversy is the
way.
10-8 fifth round.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that did not.
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sitting there scoring the fights when you're watching?
So I don't know how to score. I
Okay.
still haven't learned it.
9 years you've been
But
there and you know how
but
to
I
score?
have
You
but I
and
have
everyone
an
else.
idea, just like everyone else. Like when you're watching the fight, you have an idea of who's hitting more, who's like I guess in terms of points, I have an idea of like, okay, she put her down. I don't think that's the right term, but
Sure, yeah. Not very technical.
anyways, no, I don't know how I should, right?
But you sit like when you're working with other people, are you like, oh, I think like are you guys that locked in? Are you kind of looking
Yeah,
at your
no,
phone, you're looking
yeah.
around?
Some of the girls watch the fights, and then we're like, oh, I think this one is winning, or I think this one is winning. But no, I don't think any of the girls know how to score it.
Who's the most fun to watch a fight with?
Carly,
Why is
I
that?
haven't worked with her in so long, but I think she's so fun. Carly
Just to
Baker.
hang out with, because you're there for 6-7 hours, right?
Yeah, for 6 hours at least. Yeah, during the fights at
Have you
least.
seen her? Have you worked with her since the
I
pandemic?
haven't worked with her in so long, but yeah, she's so fun. She's my favorite. But I mean, all the girls. Camilla is really fun. Brittany, Brooklyn, they're all fun.
Is there anyone that you look at the list and you're like, ah, fuck, I can't believe I'm working with them. This is gonna be a
No,
nightmare.
no,
Come on, no,
no,
not one. You go
no, 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 not really. No. Mm-mm.
like, ah, I gotta talk to this person for 6 hours now. I hope I don't get sat
No,
next to them.
because no, it's fine because like we've been working together for so long that when we get to see each other, for example, like I don't work with Vanessa and Chrissy all the time, right?
Mhm.
But then when I do, it's like, oh, how are you doing? Tell me about your life and da. So it's never a bad time.
Okay. You've been very active on social media, which is nice to see.
Have I?
Yeah, you got your blue check. That's a big deal.
Oh well,
Has life
uh-huh.
dramatically changed?
Didn't we talk about this in the previous show?
No, we
I feel
didn't.
like
I
we
don't think we
have.
did. Okay,
Yeah, no,
sorry.
it's been
Jeez.
a while. This is
Well,
old
because
news.
I see a lot, I see a lot of complaining on Twitter, and I was like, gosh, I guess
I
this is what
haven't
happens.
complained in a long time. That's so not true. I
Early
kind of
morning
stopped.
flights seem to be a good idea until I have to get up at 4 a.m. to
Well,
go to
but
the
that
airport. Why do I do this to
that's
myself?
not a
That's
complaint. That's just an acknowledgement. That's
sounds
not
like a
a
complaint.
complaint. That's an acknowledgement. Like, man, why do I do this to myself? And I do it every time. But I have so much anxiety about going home that I'll probably just keep doing it.
Why do you have anxiety about going home?
So I have a theory. I don't know if that's correct, probably not, but I feel like if I fly later in the day, the chances are that my flight is gonna get, delayed or,
This is 1,000% right. I couldn't agree with you more.
right? And then if I leave early, if my flight does get canceled or get delayed, whatever, I still have enough time to purchase a new flight if I have to, right? But
A
not
million
just
percent.
that, I get homesick. I want to go home. So I just wish I had a private plane so I could go right away after the fights.
Have you ever
You
flown on
know,
a private plane?
no. Have
Mm.
you? Of course you did. Of course you have.
I've never. What are you talking about?
Mm.
You think I'm some kind of big
What?
shot? You're way bigger of a
No,
big
but
shot than I am.
you know famous people.
I don't
You're
know
like hanging
anyone.
out with Conor McGregor and
Yeah, you think I'm going? I'm not going on a plane. I'm actually kind of shocked that you've never been on a plane.
why?
I figured like
Do I
some
look like I'm
like
rich?
no, but I figured like some like prince in the Middle East would have like sent the plane for
Oh,
you to
that's
come over.
dangerous.
Well,
I
no,
would
like to go
never.
hang out. Like, don't they do this sort of thing to woo people? Like, come hang out with us for the weekend, or some like big shot from a
Yeah, but I was never into that. So
no. What do you mean you've never been? Is that a real thing? Have you? Were you ever approached with that?
no, but like some girls are, oh, sure, this guy is buying me this or is flying me to
Sending a
this
plane,
place, and then
right?
you go just because if I don't like the person, I'm not doing anything. Plus, I don't feel comfortable about with people paying me stuff.
No.
So
But did someone ever ask you to go on a private plane with them, and you said no?
never on a private plane, no. But I think I would say no too because I don't. I have a vibe. I guess I feel like they're not as safe.
I guess it depends on the kind of plane. If it's like a propeller plane, I met someone in Dallas, and he told me that he has a company. He was the one who flew Nate Diaz to his boxing match against Jake Paul,
Mm.
and he's like, I got this company, and I flew him here. And he's like, if you ever need anything, give me a call. And I was like, just for my own curiosity, how much would it cost? And he said it was like, he said it was,
20 grand.
am I crazy? I think he said it was like 7,000 a person or something like that. Does that sound too cheap? Did I
I mean,
misunderstand
I
that?
guess it depends on how many people are sharing. But one time, a long time ago, I worked in Brazil for a fight, and then one of my friends, she works with events, and she was working like involved with the Super Bowl. I think it was Atlanta at the time,
Okay.
and she got us tickets. So we're like, oh my God, let's go. But my flight leaving from Brazil got delayed. By the time I got to Miami, I didn't have much time. So I was like desperate. I was like, how much would it cost to fly private? Right. And it was something like 28 grand.
Uh,
But I'm guessing that, it depends on the distance. Right.
right. That's
That was
true.
like Miami to Atlanta, which is not that far.
So what'd you do?
Imagine coast to coast. I didn't go.
Oh,
Imagine coast to coast, you
yeah,
know.
no, that would be
And owning
incredible.
a plane, imagine you have a lot of maintenance costs. You have a pilot, probably a flight attendant, just I guess fuel for the plane and all those permits. I'm guessing you need to
Right.
have just regular maintenance. It's probably so expensive. It's not for me. But yeah.
I 1,000% agree with you on the taking the early flight thing. In fact, the last time I was in Las Vegas in late July for a boxing match, Spence Crawford, I usually try to take like the 6 a.m. or the 7 a.m. flight, but they only had a 9:45 a.m. and I booked it, and I was like, oh, I have such a horrible feeling about this. And I take the 9:45. I usually like to get to the airport around 2.5 hours before, because I'm a bit of a psycho as
Oh,
well.
you're one of those?
Yes, you're not?
No. Why
Oh
would
man.
I? Like you're just wasting time.
I'd rather be there
I
than be
hate it.
like, wait, speaking of anxiety, I mean, no one has more anxiety than me about everything in life. But anyway, I'm on my way to the airport at around 7:15 for a 9:45 flight. Get a text that the flight is now at 12:45. So now I'm staring at five
And you
hours in the
checked
airport.
out.
No, and I checked out, right. I thought about going back, but it was too late. But it gets worse. So now I'm waiting at the like the lounge thingy. Then I go on the plane, 12:45. We sit on the plane for an hour, and then they tell us that the plane is overheating, that
You
we're
gotta leave.
in a line. We have to go back to the gate and deplane and wait around in the gate. So that's mortally,
That's the worst.
it's the
It
worst
happened
feeling.
to me before,
But it
yeah.
gets worse. It gets worse. So now we get off the plane, and now we're waiting, and now I'm betting my life that it's going to get canceled. And we wait probably like 3-4 hours, and then they put us back on the plane. But listen to this. It gets worse. We go
It
on the
happened
plane,
again.
and we do the line, and then they say the plane is overheating, and we have to go back off again a second time. At this point, I
Oh
felt
my
like I was
God.
gonna. I thought I was gonna have a mental breakdown at this point. And then we're waiting. Now at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm done. It's gonna be canceled. I'm gonna have to stay here. It's over. And finally, we ended up going back on the plane at around 10 p.m. from a flight that was supposed to leave at 9:45, and I landed at 3 a.m.
Did you get any compensation?
Zero.
I think you can, like after, I don't know how many hours, but you should check that because
I'm not
the
one of
airlines
those.
usually
I'm not
they
one of
give you
those who goes
points,
on
they give you
Twitter to
miles.
complain or ask for. I don't do this. I don't do this. It's not my
Well,
style.
I'm actually impressed that you spend those many hours in the airport, considering you're a germaphobe, because airports are
Oh, it
nasty.
was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And then I have to deal with people like you who are like, now I can't stop thinking about the bin, the security bin.
It's the most
Yes.
disgusting thing in an airplane. I mean, in the airports, but also bathrooms. How do you do? You had to use it.
No,
Don't
I
tell
don't.
me you haven't. So what do you do? Like, how do you touch the doors? Do you keep waiting for someone to open so you can leave? Or
Diaper. Diapers. Where do you go? No. Adult. No, I don't touch anything. You have paper towels, you open the door, you I'm a big fan of the thing at the bottom of the
of the
door.
door?
That's a
Yeah,
huge thing. I feel like they should just install that everywhere. Just put your
I
foot,
know. It's so
and
smart.
it's
I
brilliant.
know. Or have a sensor at the door that, when you
That's a
come
lot of
in and
money.
out.
That's
I
technology.
know, but I
That would
know. But
be
it's an airport. They have so much technology everywhere in all the doors. That would be great, but I don't think they would
you
do
like
it.
to
But
talk
yeah,
about me being a germaphobe. I feel like you're just as much of a germaphobe as I am.
I am to some degree. You're insane, you
Yes.
know. So I can only imagine how you were during COVID, the pandemic. You were
Oh, I mean, there was a stretch there. See, here's the thing. The people like this, they say like, oh, like I wasn't a big, I just didn't really do much. I did wipe down the groceries for a minute there. Did you do the same?
Oh, I've done everything in the
Okay.
beginning. And then I was
Because
just
one thing
like,
that
if I
pisses me
die, I
off
die.
about COVID is like it pisses me off that there's like a revisionist history where people are like, ah, no big deal. This is like everyone was
No, in the beginning, we were all afraid, except for people in Florida, maybe, because nothing happened there. But
right.
right, I have friends when I was, I live in California, so I would say, it's just so bad. We can't even go to the beach. We can go to the parks. Everything's closed. The gyms are closed, right? Restaurants, and they were like, "What do you mean?" Like life was normal there.
Wow.
They had 2 weeks of maybe, a lockdown, and that's all they got. So it was not fun. But yeah, I was very afraid in the beginning of COVID. I went down the rabbit hole, like in the conspiracy
Oh
theories.
yeah, that's
Some
me
of
too.
some of those were actually true. Um,
Like what? Which one? Which is true?
we're not gonna get there.
What? Is this too
It's just too controversial.
Is it
But
controversial? We have to be able
yeah.
to speak about things here. We can't shy away from the
Well, but you always ask the questions. You never put yourself in the line,
ask me
like
whatever.
you never make yourself a target.
It's target me.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah, I feel
target
like
me.
I'm being interviewed here. I'm not a co-host.
Well, okay. No, I'm keeping the conversation. That's my job to
Anyways,
keep. All
have
right.
you? I know you're a germaphobe, but like I watched a documentary recently. It's called Poisoned
Mm,
on Netflix. Have you seen that?
mm-mm.
Oh my God, you have to.
No, I don't watch any.
You're never gonna buy food again
No,
if
I
you do.
can't do it because you have to understand when you are like when you have like this anxiety like I do, these things will exacerbate it.
Okay, but you order food and you eat out.
I
You are a
don't please
germaphobe.
don't even get.
Like
Let's not go down this
you
rabbit.
have
Don't
no
ruin one of like
control
the
whether
few
people are
pleasures I
washing
have
their
in life.
hands, whether the
No,
food
no,
was not
no. This gonna
contaminated
ruin
in
this.
the, you know,
No,
in the
we
facility or
can't
in
do
the
this.
transportation or in.
You can't ruin one of the few. I don't have that many pleasures in life. You can't ruin takeout food for me.
I'm just saying, watch that because now I'm paranoid about the food shoe. Not that I wasn't before, but like I just remind
Oh,
myself how dangerous
why put yourself through
it
that
can
though?
be.
Isn't ignorance bliss?
So I don't know. I guess I like to know.
No.
I like to know the truth. Like, so okay, let me ask you a question. So I saw this trend online, and I asked my husband this morning, and it's not a thing. So, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? You know, gladiators, all those things.
Not at all. Why?
Okay, so okay, that was the same answer that I got. He said,
Sorry.
"Well, clearly not enough."
Yes. Why? Why would
Apparently,
I?
a lot of men think about that. And
Why? What?
then we have a group chat, and the wives ask the same thing. Some guys were like, "Oh, I think about that all the time," like
In what context?
survival mode and this and that because I like martial arts or all sorts of things. And then we all started to talk about what do we think about. My husband is like, all he thinks about is real estate. Right?
Right.
For me, I'm like, I think a lot about the deep state. you know like who's really in control of us, who
You
makes
think
those
about
decisions,
why do you think
how
about this? Why do you worry about
I
this?
just I just worry about things. And then I constantly, when I'm walking in the street, I think like, if somebody were to attack me right now, how would I defend myself? Not that I know how to defend myself,
Sure.
but I'm constantly thinking about this thing. If somebody breaks in the house, where would I hide, or what would I
Oh.
do?
So you're way more
I just
paranoid than
have
I
these
am.
thoughts. If there's an earthquake.
Right. You have to deal with that.
So I'm always trying to. It's survival mode for me, I guess.
Do you take self-defense classes or anything like that?
No, but I should
You
have. I
should.
should
Yeah.
do it.
Didn't you used to train?
Wait, what?
Did you tell me like maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this is another
No, I took one class of
No,
Muay Thai when I was in Brazil a Julian years
no, but didn't
ago.
you used to train at like ATT or something like that?
No,
Isn't that how
I
you got on
live.
the
I live by ATT.
Isn't
No,
that how you got on the radar of the UFC? Like someone from ATT?
no,
Oh,
no, no. Yeah, but it's because my ex-boyfriend works for ATT, and
oh,
that's
see that?
why.
I knew there was some
I never
connection.
train on ATT. No,
Okay.
do I look like I train my
What? Yeah, sure.
MMA?
What?
No.
No, but you could have trained like jujitsu. You could have done self-defense classes. You don't have to be
No,
buff to do
I'm
that.
helpless.
Are you gonna start
Helpless.
doing that?
I should. I've been thinking about it, but I've been thinking about it for at least 5 years. So I don't know if
Oh,
I'll ever take action.
is it a dangerous neighborhood that you live in?
No, I live in
Right.
Venice Beach, but I live in California where, we have a zero bail policy and it's just nonsense right now. So
What is a
I'm
zero bail
always thinking,
policy?
we have some people in power that are just.
Is this another right left thing? Here she is, MAGA Luciana, back in
No,
effect.
I'm actually right in the middle. It's about being reasonable, right? So
Sure,
how
sure.
come you allow people to break in like in stores and steal up to $950 and not get caught? And if they do get caught, they get released the same day. It's a misdemeanor or whatever. Like, it's just insane. It's
Yeah,
insane.
that is insane.
And even people that commit like crazy crimes right now is just. I saw on social media the other day. I think it was a note from the police department or something. I guess they're no longer allowed to arrest people for certain crimes, like non-violent crimes. But non-violent crimes is also, I guess, someone, uh, I guess, attempting to abuse a child. It's also considered non-violent. So that person would just receive a ticket from the police. It's like insane. It's insane.
Wow.
Who's making
Is this
those
a
laws?
California
Like,
thing?
yeah, yeah, LA County, California. Yeah.
Right. Are you considering leaving?
I would love to,
Oh,
I guess.
really?
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm kind of torn because I do like it took me a long time to actually like California. I hated LA at first. Now I do like it. I appreciate the weather, being so close to the beach. I do like it here, but at the same time, like if it continues being this way, it's just so hard. Like my husband works with real estate, and if you're a developer, if you are a landlord, it's a really tough climate for you, especially with the laws that they're passing. I told you in the past, we have a property that had a squatter,
Right.
and there was nothing we could do. We had to pay attorneys to spend a lot of money and to properly evict the person. The person trashed the place,
Oh man.
and who's going to pay the bill, right? The insurance companies are trying not to, doing everything they can not to pay. And then the city is like, oh, not a problem, but it's also the city passing those laws, so it's complicated.
Did you ever talk
And
to the
then
squatter yourself?
no, I never saw the person. The
Wow.
sheriff went there, and but it was bad. And again, like you have all these issues, housing crisis, a lot of people living on the streets or living in it's my dog. Calm
I
down.
didn't I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, she's making noises. A lot of people living in the streets or RVs, right? And there is a housing crisis, but then it's just the decisions that are being made. Like if you're a developer and you want to build, whatever, whether it's a house or a building, multifamily, right? It just takes so long, for the city to approve it. And then when they decide to build buildings for, homeless, for people that actually need that, low income units and all that, uh, they just use the most expensive materials, and like the cost just doesn't add up. And I don't think people understand that. So we are on the other side, so we see how hard it is, but it's politics. So
If you could choose to live somewhere else, would you choose Florida or Texas?
okay, I think Florida, but
You were
it's
supposed
easy because I've lived there before, right?
you were supposed to say why are you choosing those two states?
Oh, I
But
know why
oh,
you're choosing those states, because they're Republican states, but
right.
also I think I see them as non-income tax states. That's what
Oh,
I'm thinking. So I'm thinking
Nevada?
Nevada, Florida,
Yeah.
Texas,
Would you want to live in Nevada? Be good for your work, but probably not for your husband's, right?
Oh yeah, no, it would not be. And I don't
Mm.
think we would live just because live there or move out of California unless things get really, really bad. But then if that's the case, I guess we could just live abroad, right? I don't know.
That'd be sick. Lake Como.
Yes, I would love
Like
to live in Italy. That would be so
go
fun.
back to the scene of the
I would
crime.
love to live in Europe, actually. I never did that. Where would you live?
Um, I would. My dream is to never feel the winter ever again. I
Would you
despise
live
the
in
winter.
Florida then?
I would live in Florida. Yeah, I have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem.
Uh,
My family goes to Miami at least like once a year, South Beach,
um, yeah.
and I love it. I think it's incredible. It's a great life. Now, I'm just going for a week or so. I'm not living there, so I don't know what it's like. But a lot of people, like, I think a lot of the MMA fans think that I'm like super far left. It's actually not true. Like my whole house, like my parents, my brother, like they're all actually a lot more conservative.
Hmm.
Most Jewish people are conservative.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Somehow I got pigeonholed into that, which is fine. I'm okay. I'm actually a lot more middle than anything. I don't pay attention to anything,
I
of
think
course.
most people are middle,
Yeah.
honestly. But you have to pick a side, right? Like you don't have
Do you have
something that
to?
is
I don't
more.
know. Who cares? I think all
I
this is so
mean,
dumb.
if you want to vote, if you want to have a representative, I guess you do, right? Like
This
I don't
this
know.
this will be the first presidential election that I'll ever be able to vote in.
So I might be able to
Oh,
vote
you
in
you're
too.
not a citizen yet either.
So okay, so what happened was this. I was supposed to have my citizenship interview in August,
Okay.
and I was working in Boston, right?
Oh
And it
yeah,
was
yeah.
that Monday, but then we had the hurricane. So
Oh.
on a Friday, I was like, they were talking about category 4. We never had a hurricane, I guess, in California, not that I know of. I mean, if we did, it was so long ago. So everybody was worried, but my main concern was my flights getting disrupted and me not
Yeah.
being in California on Monday. So I end up asking them to reschedule, and in the end of the day, they actually canceled my
Oh,
my citizenship interview. So now I have it next week, I think, or the
is this
week
the one where you
after
take the
that.
test?
Yeah, yeah,
The test is great. I
I
took the test.
know.
It's the
Were you
easiest test.
nervous?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect because they give you like 100 questions to study,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
you know what the questions were? Like one of the questions for me was,
I
uh,
saw.
what I showed it to you.
No, 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 no. I saw the questions because I read
Oh
them,
no,
but
but no, like the 100 questions. Some of them are a little bit tricky. Like I would argue that some Americans wouldn't even know the answers to these
oh,
questions.
a lot of Americans don't know the
Right.
answers of those
But
questions.
then you get to the actual test, and there's 10 questions that they ask you,
Yeah.
and you only have to get six right.
Hmm.
And one of my questions I remember was what happened on September 11th. So
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
your answer needs to be terrorists attacked the United States,
sure.
right?
The other one was what was the civil rights movement? By the way, am I allowed
Uh-huh.
to talk about this, or am I going to get arrested? I don't know. Um, the and then they asked me to write a sentence in English, and I believe the sentence was the president lives in the White House. That's what the
Uh-huh.
sentence. And I asked the guy, I was like, "Do people get this wrong?" And he said, "You'd be. I mean, there's people from all over the
All
world,
the
right?"
time. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But it couldn't have been easier. The whole thing lasted 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it
So don't
is.
be nervous. I
I
get
think
nervous in these situations. Like I failed my driver's test 5 times.
really? Oh, in the US? Because I failed my driver's test in Brazil a couple of times, but that's because I would get so nervous. But
Yes,
not the reading part. It was actually the driving part that I would just like I would panic. But here in the US was so easy.
I never had to take one in the U.S. because they honor the one from Canada.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, in Canada I failed the written twice, and I failed the driving 3 times. And I'm a
Oh,
fantastic driver, by the way. I'm actually
wait, but
one of the
even if you
all-time great
move
drivers.
from one state to the other, because for example, like my driver's license from Florida and California, you have to redo the driving part of the
Oh,
test.
really? No,
Yeah,
they didn't make me.
really.
Yeah.
How lucky. Because
Um,
Canadians have
they
some
like us. Well,
privilege.
I think they trust us, but it was very embarrassing. All the kids in my class are getting their license, and I
How
continue.
old were you?
I was like 16, 17. You know, you want to drive, you
So
want to
I
go
think
out.
that's so interesting. In Brazil, you can only drive after 18 because that's when you're no longer a minor.
Mhm.
But here you can drive at 16, but you can't vote, right?
Yeah, you can only vote at 18. Is it 18 or 21?
So with us, you can vote if you want from 16 and on. 16, yeah,
When
16.
can
And
you
then but driving only after 18. And then after 18, vote is it's everybody needs to vote.
In the
It's not like, oh,
States.
I'll vote if I want to.
Oh
Everybody
yeah, we
votes.
should just ask. I wasn't sure if he was there, so I didn't
Yeah,
want to
no,
put him
I'm
on the
here.
spot.
Resident American, Jordan here.
Big Jordan.
I took my permit test at 16. I got a junior license at like a little before I was 17, and then a full license at 17, and then you can't vote until you're 18.
Okay.
Huh.
So I didn't know that you had to take a new driver's test though if you change states. I went from Connecticut to New York, New York to
Yeah,
Connecticut.
you do.
No, I never had to take a driver's test again.
I guess it depends on the state then, but yeah, here you have to redo the driving part, not the written test, or it's the opposite. One or the other. It's not both.
By the way, we have to wish a big mazel
Oh no,
tov.
wait. It's not the driving part. You have to do the written
The
test here.
written.
Yeah.
We have to wish a big mazel tov to our good friend producer Jordan, who's getting married next weekend.
Oh, are you going to his wedding? And
Oh,
congratulations, Jordan.
thank you. It's a subject. I asked Ariel. He was invited, but
I was
you
invited.
know.
Are you nervous?
Oh, okay, thank you for
Am I
reminding me.
nervous? I'm not nervous
Yes.
about getting married. I'm nervous about, everything coming together. It's a lot of
Party?
stress, a lot of
I was so
opinions.
nervous before my wedding. Not about getting married, the same thing. It was like, are people gonna have a good time? Is the food gonna be good? Like, is this and that? Like, organizations, can I trust my wedding planner? Like, all those
We are the
things.
wedding planners and our parents, and it's a lot of opinions. Everyone likes to have an
Oh
opinion.
yeah,
So
the
Okay, so
worst.
Ariel is not going.
Oh, back to this.
no, he is not.
Why do you do that?
It's a very tricky day. and there's childcare involved, and there's work involved, and I
Not
really.
okay. Your kids are big enough.
What do you mean? You can't just leave a 6-year-old at home by
No, but
themselves.
you can get a nanny, or you
It's
can.
okay. No, there's no problem. Honestly, we invited people that we were like, let's hope they don't come. Ariel not being one of them.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Nah.
Just wanted
No,
the
but
gift.
he sent the nice $18 gift, you know.
This is
Right?
crazy.
Was it
Oh
the
my
18
God.
too?
well,
I
it was
got
good
that.
luck. Well, I guess he sent 36 because he was wishing both of us luck. So.
Gosh, this is slanderous. This is slanderous.
Was
By the way,
it through
I'm the-
Venmo?
I'm the.
Yes,
It actually was.
yes.
Did it even write a card?
I think I did.
It had like an animation though because like it was a surprise. It's a gift, so it like I didn't know it even did that. So
It was very thoughtful.
It was very thoughtful. Ariel sent the gift, and he felt
the
bad
best-
because he missed the date. So
I
felt
did. I
bad.
missed the date. That's the thing. I'm very good on the RSVP date. I usually respond within seconds, but I happened to be away, and I miscalculated. And it was embarrassing because he had to text me.
Okay, now we just got him on the line. I usually respond within seconds. He didn't even like ask the wife. He's just like, no.
No, I say.
Not go. He didn't even
No,
check.
no,
They
no.
could-
I knew-
the parents could come visit, watch the kids. It was just like, nah. I'm not
I
going.
I
What?
knew what's going on our wedding day, and there's happens to be a big name boxer fighting that day on a network that Ariel has worked before, so I kind of had an idea that he might not be.
I'm one of the
making
best
it.
people ever to invite to your wedding because there's a very good chance I'm not going to come, but there's an even better chance that I'm going to send you a gift. So it's no harm, no foul. You don't have to pay for my meal.
I
You
think
don't have
that's very classy. People that don't go to the wedding but still send. a
Thank
gift.
you.
I
That's the
had
first
2 people
compliment
that
I've ever
did
gotten.
that on my
Yes.
wedding.
I will say
Thank you.
though,
Yes,
I will
go
say
ahead.
my best man watched the Jake Paul Untold on Netflix, and then he goes, "Oh, I saw your guy was in the documentary. Is he gonna be there?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, it's the only person I was looking forward to seeing."
Yeah, my wedding, nobody asked about Ariel, but people ask, is Bruce Buffer gonna go?
Come on. Not a single, not even your sisters. I feel like your sisters at least asked. No.
No, they didn't, because you never follow up with that thing
didn't.
about finding them
The
a
date.
date, and
They were in.
they accepted.
Doesn't mean they can't be.
Well, I mean, at this phase, who knows when we're gonna record the next show?
Are they-
Ariel's like, oh, we're back. And
We're
then
back.
We're not back for the next.
I feel like
2
it's a lot of
months.
pressure being put on me. Like it takes 2 to tango. It can't. You just said.
Well, I'm always here.
You-
You were
you
the
did-
one that is so busy traveling.
just
Oh, I
said,
had
"I
so
feel
many
like I'm being
shows. We don't have
interviewed."
sponsors in this one.
uh,
Not making any money.
that is
Right.
true. Are you trying to get sponsored? You used to work for Steak.
Yeah, so
They could revitalize this.
you think they want to sponsor us? We need consistency.
Yeah, you're right.
We need the people watching. We need the views. As many
Promoting.
views as we can get.
You need to. You don't even promote it. You took it off your
Well,
social media bio.
You never
That
had it.
was
You
a knife
never
in the
had
heart.
it.
Oh,
And then
my
to my
gosh.
point, it was like over a month, 2 months without the show. I'm like, I guess it's over, right? And then
I've never been good at breakups of any kind, work. It's just you just kind of have to let them die
how
and
many
just hope
people
that
broke up with
forget.
you? You've been dating for 100 years, the same person.
Wait, how many people broke up with me, or how many people did I break up with?
How many people broke up with you?
That's a good question.
How many people did you break up with?
Oh, too many. I don't like to brag about it because that's a mean thing to brag about. Like that means that you're an evil person. I just try to hope for the best and hope that they forget,
I wish we were live so we would have those polls right now. Like
Yes.
how many people think, do we think there were more people breaking up with Ariel or Ariel breaking up with people? Like, what's the biggest number?
What do you think? What's your prediction?
I mean, it's really hard to tell. I'm wondering, like, how many people did you actually date?
Wow.
Besides the wife? No, besides the wife, because you've been together for so long. You met her when you were kids.
Yeah, but we weren't dating the whole time.
I know, but you were all
There's
you
a large
were
chunk
also
of time
shy. You didn't know girls were into you.
there.
And,
That's true.
right?
I was focused on other things, but they kept
Also
knocking
with
at my
that
door.
hair that you posted the
Wow,
other day.
you didn't like the haircut?
I mean, that was intense.
I was trying to.
Extreme.
You're referring to my Old Dirty Bastard. You know that famous album cover?
No, is that Drake? I'm
Old
just
Dirty Bastard. Do you know Old Dirty
laughing because
Bastard?
you love him so
I do
much.
love him. Oh no, Old Dirty Bastard. Do you know him? Wu-Tang Clan?
No,
Fuck.
but I'm not
Well,
American or
there
I'm
was a
not
very
Canadian
famous
also. I don't
group.
know.
Yes, there was a very famous group called the Wu-Tang Clan. I loved them as
Uh,
kids. And there was one guy named Old Dirty Bastard. That was his name.
mm.
Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. And he had a very famous album cover where it was his license, a fake license, where he had his hair all crazy. And so 2003, 2004, I was sort of rebelling against my school. That's a whole other topic, really, for me and my therapist to tackle one day.
Why? Now
And
I feel like we need to talk about this.
we could talk about it all you want. But just to finish the story about the picture, I didn't cut my hair for a year and a half, and I have very thick hair. I don't know if you could tell, but it's super thick. So like a year and a half, it gets the look of disgust, by the way, on your face is something to behold. Anyway, I didn't cut my hair for a year and a half, and I twisted it all up, and I put like little like elastics, and I tried to I went to go get a new license, and I tried
Uh,
to replicate that picture, and that was, I was 19 years old, so cut me some slack.
got it. But it was just for the picture.
I may have rocked it for a couple days thinking I was cool. I had a bit of an identity crisis for a minute.
So why
Uh,
are you being rebellious now that
wha-
you're done with the story?
uh, Wait, why was I being rebellious, or to who
Yeah,
was?
yeah, yeah.
Um, I was being rebellious against the system. I was very unhappy between 2000. Well, I definitely in high school battled like some depression. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but there was one year in particular, 10th grade, where I switched schools 4 times in the span of 2 weeks. Did I ever tell you that?
No, I didn't know that.
There's a lot. You talk
But
so much on the
why?
show. You never ask me questions about myself. I'm just here
But
as a.
why?
Oh, wait, why did I change
Why? No,
schools?
no. Why did you change schools?
I don't know. I was like a bit of a lost soul. I felt like I'd be happier there. Then I felt like I'd be happier here. I was at one school, and then I
And
changed to
your
another
parents
school.
were just like, sure, let's try this new school, or
I think they wanted me to be happy, and I was convincing that this would be the thing. And then it was not. It was weird. But the thing
yeah.
the thing is, I had so much. I had nothing to really be down about. I had an incredible. I was just a bit like confused and lost.
Would you do the same for your kid right now if they're like, I don't like the school? Would you change it 4 times?
I don't think so. No, I actually regret changing. I should have stayed at the original one. It was a
Yeah.
mistake. I should have. I Here's the thing: you have to recognize that the change isn't the problem. Like the problem is from
Mm-hmm.
within. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I should have talked to someone as opposed to just being like, "Oh, I'm out of here." I should have talked to someone and figured it out.
Hmm. Interesting. All right.
Um,
Any
yeah,
thing about Ariel every show?
and that feeling extended to when I was in college. I went to a school called Syracuse University, and it was
Mm-hmm.
the hardest 3 years of my life, uh, just because I was supremely depressed,
Hmm.
to the point where like I didn't. I developed like a horrible case of social anxiety where I would not speak to people. I would be afraid. I think I may have mentioned it here. Maybe I mentioned it somewhere else. Like I would stay up till 3 a.m. I lived in a dorm. Do you know what a dorm is?
Mm-hmm.
I would stay up till 3 a.m. and I would wait till I didn't hear anyone walking in the hallways just to go to the bathroom and brush my teeth because I didn't want
Oh
to
my
talk.
God, that sounds terrible.
It was terrible. I was afraid to go to the cafeteria to eat, so I would eat almonds in my room, Blue Diamond almonds. I would just eat them for dinner, and then I would eat like Chef Boyardee alfagettis, like soup in my room. And my room, by the way, was like my room was so small. I had a single room. If I stood in my room with my arms stretched out, I could touch both walls. That's how small the room was. Like if I stood in the middle, it was awful. So
Yeah,
that
it's interesting that you now work, doing what you do, talking to people all the time and facing
yeah,
crowds and
no one would have ever imagined. In fact, someone on Twitter one time wrote to a broadcaster who was in school with me at the same time, like a fan was like, "Hey, I think you were at Syracuse. Syracuse is a very famous school for broadcasters, sports in particular. I think you were at school at the same time, at Syracuse at the same time as Ariel. Did you know him? I was in this guy's class every year. Like all my whole time there I was with this guy. I know this guy." And he wrote back, no, I've never heard of him before. And that's how irrelevant I was. Like, that's how I didn't say a word to anyone. I kept to myself. And yeah, it was very, and if you would have, like, my only, like, I tried to make friends and I tried to like push myself. And I wasn't a weird guy. Like, I just was supremely, I don't know if shy was the word or anxious. I don't know what it was, dealing with a lot of stuff mentally. But
Mm.
like my only friend at the time was MMA sport. Like I would watch every UFC pay-per-view by myself. There were no UFC fans. So I would just order it used to be on Friday nights. This is 2001, 2002, 2003. Like the sport was nothing. It was hardly even
Okay.
on pay-per-view. And then I
Mm.
did a radio show and I remember um uh I don't did I feel like I've told this story before. Jordan, have I told this story on this show or is it somewhere else?
I
Jordan might
guess
be
it's
gone.
somewhere else.
I
Um,
think you
the,
told it in a couple of places, but I don't know if it was here.
one example of like how secluded I was in psychology class. I had a psychology class in Syracuse, and you always sit in the same spot. And there was this girl who sat like 3 seats down, who was very good looking, but I never said a word to her. And then one day, a kid invited me to go to a bar, and so I went, and she was there, and she had no
Hmm.
idea who I was. She's like, "Oh, you sit?" I was like, "Yes, I sit right next to you." We started talking, and she gave me her phone number. And the next day, which was a mistake, I called her, and which you don't do, right? You have to wait like 2, 3 days. Some people
I
say.
don't know. It depends. You have to read the vibe, the
Anyway,
person.
I called her and I told her what I was doing. I was preparing for my MMA show the next morning at 9 a.m. And she never wanted to talk to me again. I think she thought I was a total loser. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm preparing for the show." And I tried to explain to her what MMA was. This is 2002, 2000. This is
How long of a
2000.
message was that? Maybe that's what.
No, no, we had a whole conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Oh no, it was like this is before cell phone. We were talking on the phone, and
where
I
is
think
she now? I bet she knows who you are
regretting
now.
life, regretting everything. So anyway, I don't know how we got down that path. How did we
Hmm.
get down that path?
Because we were talking about your hair.
Oh, right, right.
Your hair.
I'm a tortured soul, Luciana. You have to understand this. There's a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad to see that you're a different person now. Starting with the
So you
hair,
think?
you
So you
know.
think?
I mean, I can see that you still have,
Problems.
some some do you do therapy?
I did therapy, um, 2000. I so the pandemic, I was at home for a while, and then I was working for ESPN. And in February of 2021, they said we want you to go cover a basketball game, which should have been very exciting for me in Milwaukee. And I started to have like what I felt was some sort of tremendous anxiety about getting on the plane. I had not left in a while, blah blah blah. And so I went. Sorry, I agreed, and then I instantly regretted it, and I started to really get nervous, and then I said to myself like I need to do something about this.
Because
So
you thought you were getting COVID, or just because
no, I
you were
just
not seeing people you're not
I just was
doing because
anxious
so
about
long?
leaving. I felt like I was not in my element. I felt like I didn't have any sort of confidence. Blah blah blah.
I think a lot of people felt that way
Yeah.
after. I mean, at least the people that were suffering with the quarantines, the
Yes.
lockdown.
Very secluded, but there was also
Um,
a part of me about feeling guilty about leaving my family, like they weren't in school and all this stuff. And I went and spoke to someone, and it was really hard at first. But she, like the first time I spoke to her, I'm probably oversharing here, but I don't really care. First time I spoke
that's
to her, I cried my eyes out, cried like I was in pain, like someone had like put a knife in my heart. And then she explained to me how I'm going to do this, how everything's going to be okay. And when I got to the airport, I felt like I was having like heart palpitations.
yeah.
Yeah, but I did it. I went and I came back home and it was all good. But then I stayed with that woman for like a year and a half, and she helped me figure out a lot. Like I was going to stay at ESPN. This is when my contract at ESPN was coming to an end, and I was really going to stay, despite some people who probably didn't want me to stay, and there was all kinds of drama. And she made me figure out like what was important in life, and so I couldn't recommend it enough to people. And there are
Mhm.
times where I think about going back. I took a break because I felt like I was good, but there are definitely times where I think it would be nice to like just have a sounding board. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think
Have you
everybody
ever
should
done
do
it?
therapy. I've done it when my dad passed away. My sisters and I, we all got like the same therapist, and I've done
Oh,
it for
wow.
like, yeah, for like 6 months. I've
Would you
done it.
talk at the same time?
No, no, we
Okay.
all had different sessions. And then I stopped after that. I just felt, but I don't think it was the therapy. I think it was the therapist that after 6 months, I just felt like I felt like I was talking with a friend, like, meaning she would ask me about my life here in the US and this and this and that. Oh, how was this week? And it wasn't really, I guess I was hoping I could dive in my problems and like her just crack open my brain and like my emotions and figure it out and tell me what to do. And that was not happening. And I was just dreading the sessions. So I stopped doing it. But I've been wanting to do it again. It's just one of those things that you keep procrastinating in life.
I
But
know, because
I think it's very helpful for everyone.
it's like opening up a big wound, right? And you
Mhm.
don't want to really explore what's in that wound. It's like I would feel, I don't know about you, like I would feel exhausted afterwards, like emotionally exhausted.
No, I wasn't feeling exhausted. I don't know. I guess I didn't think, uh, I guess I knew the problem, what the problems were. I just never knew how to fix them, if that makes sense. I didn't have that issue of like not knowing, oh, this is my inner child or this insecurity is coming from this. Like I have crazy good memory like of my childhood. So I know exactly like what the trouble areas were, and I guess I just needed more coaching on how to prevent me from doing this, on how should I act when I feel that way, and that was not happening.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
No, no, makes sense. I ultimately stopped because I felt like I was kind of repeating some of the stuff and I was looking for problems. So if, like for the
Mm-hmm.
moment, I felt like I was good, but then, you know, it was time. Do you
Yeah.
ever do you ever did you ever feel depressed about anything? Like about a period of time?
I guess so, but it was never, luckily, I never suffered from like deep depression. I have friends that, had to be medicated and
Mm,
all that. That never happened. Do I feel sad every now and again? Sure, especially if I'm PMSing. I guess every woman goes through that,
yes.
Uh, but no, I don't have that deep sadness. I felt really down after my dad passed away. My sister is the same. But I guess that's normal, right? The grief. And I think what I read at the time is that, if it's okay to grieve for up to a year after that, then you need help. It's more like depression and this and that. Um, but yeah, I guess like the first 6 months were really hard for me
Oh
in
man,
that regard.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine. Yeah. Well, this took a bit of a dark turn, huh?
I know, I know. I was
Sorry.
thinking, I was like,
All
oh my
this.
God, sorry guys. That's what happens when we spend so much time without
Mm,
talking. It's interesting, huh? We went from,
the
you
hair
know,
to the.
matching. Oh, did you see that guy? He proposed to the girl.
Oh
Remember?
yeah, the guy on
Yeah, he
Twitter.
went to Brazil. He proposed to
Unbelievable.
her. He tagged me on Twitter. He tagged you, I think.
He did. Yes,
Yeah,
I wrote back to him.
you're very. Oh yeah, you saw.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, insane, right? Are
Unbelievable.
we? So, question
Are we
is,
a
are we
thing?
getting invited to the wedding? I know you're not gonna go, but are
By
you
the way,
gonna send him
if they were smart, they would
180
invite me, so
cents?
I would send them a present.
18 cents?
I don't know. I've not seen. I think you might get more like mentions than I do. So maybe he wrote to you.
I don't.
You don't get no.
No, what?
Maybe I
How
get
many
so many
followers?
that.
You have like 1 million followers, don't you?
Are you
No
starting to
one,
get?
no
Are you
one
starting to get
tagged me
paid?
on anything. Huh?
Are you starting to get paid?
Me? By
Yeah, on
who?
Twitter. Can you could get monetization if
Oh,
you
I
have
didn't
X.
know that. Can you? Can you? Yeah, I'm not exploring my full potential.
We do have to talk about one important thing. Speaking of confidence, I
Hmm.
saw that. By the way, congratulations! You have been
For what?
nominated for Ring Card Girl of the Year.
Okay.
And then you wrote,
Okay.
"I never win this thing,"
I
which
never went.
to
That's
me
just a
felt like
fact.
it felt like a bit of a bait. Like you were trying to get people, you were trying to get the sympathy vote, which I don't blame you for. I think it's
I never win. It's
how many
true. It's
times have you
just
been
fact.
nominated?
Nominated? I don't know, 2, 3 times. I
Nah,
lost
it's got to
count.
be
I
more.
lost count because that's how many times I didn't win.
Do you think
But
that
also, I don't put. Wait,
Go
you
ahead.
tell me what's the secret? Because you win every year.
Yep.
So what do I have to do to win this? Because this is probably like one of my last years. I don't know. Maybe next
we have
year
an
is my last year.
announcement?
I don't know. I don't have that much
Retirement?
time. So, I mean, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to. But maybe I'll UFC. Maybe you can hire me. Hire me.
Oh, like for like a job post. You mean like for a job post Octagon Girl, like something else?
Yeah, that would be nice. I would like
like
to
an
still work with
ambassador.
them to some degree. Yeah, I would love
Brazil.
that.
You should be like a reporter for UFC Brazil or something like that.
No, shouldn't I? But they're not hiring me.
Have you asked?
I don't have. We had conversations, but I don't think like I have the enough experience. Maybe I'm not a journalist. So and they do have someone that is really good, which is Evelyn.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's in Vegas. And then I guess she's traveling with UFC now. She's pregnant now, but yeah, I don't know how does that work. But we've talked about doing a couple things, and I don't know. It all depends on budget, this, that. So hopefully something is gonna.
Well, their loss. Anyway, if we only have a couple of years left, we got to win this thing. Now, you asked me,
how do we win?
There's some people that like to promote it a lot and campaign for votes. I think this is a little bit tacky, if you ask me. I never do this.
That's why I don't do it. But that's why I don't do it, because I feel like I see people posting every day on their stories, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me.
I know. Who's doing this? Who's the tacky one? Tell us. Blast them right now.
No, a lot of people. There are so many categories. And I'm not just
I thought you meant
girls.
just
I'm saying anything, right?
Got it.
And I don't know. I just feel like it's so pushy. Let the people decide if they don't think I'm the best ring girl. And to be fair, it's not like whoever wins, it's not like that person did so much more than the other contenders or even the ones that were not nominated. This is not a category that you're like, oh my God, you've done so much for the sport, like, right? Let's be honest. So if I don't win, that's the thing. Like, if I don't win, I mean, it is what it is. It's not it's not a Nobel Prize.
How many of the ring card girls, are having a show with, is it 13-time reigning MMA journalist of the year to, put their name out there? Maybe he can be putting you on his social media as this award winner.
Now it comes back to me. Jeez.
Really help you out. Drive the fan vote.
There's just no support, for his co-host. He doesn't support a show. He doesn't support me. Like, I mean, I'm really questioning this friendship.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even promote my own. I don't even campaign for myself.
Oh my God! It's because you win every year.
No.
You don't have to. And if you lose, you can always say, "Oh, it's good. I feel happy. I'm opening the path for all these people. Like."
I think I'm gonna lose this year. I think I'm gonna lose. It's okay.
Yeah. Who do you think is gonna win?
I don't know.
Who are the contenders here?
I can read off the list for Ariel's category. We have Ariel Helwani. We have I would say his Canadian counterpart, but they're both Canadian, is Aaron Bronstetter. They look very similar vibes. Our good friend, Mark Raimondi.
Yeah, friend of the show.
John Morgan and Nolan King.
All great individuals.
John Morgan?
Yeah. Is that
how about the show? Because your show is also...
My show is also, yep, the MMA Hour.
What are the other shows?
Oh, we have no chance for the show because they put us up there against Contender Series and Ultimate Fighter and all that.
Contender Series is pretty good.
No.
Yeah, but it's a totally different. It's not even the same show. It's like one's a like a.
It's
news
different.
Talk show.
I can see that. It
doesn't make sense.
Who would you? I guess who would be maybe the Anik, John Anik?
Oh, I don't. I think
the personality of the year.
No, he's talking about Anik and Florida. She's talking about Anik.
Hey, are you personality of the year?
No. But John Anik is.
Oh, John Anik.
We have a few friends in there for personality of the year.
Because she's on, Laura Sinker should be personality of the year, huh?
I think she's analyst.
No, she's in there for personality.
Oh, she's in there. Okay. I know she's something.
But I mean, like, our old friend Chael Sonnen is in there.
It's so tricky when you have like Joe Rogan and Dana White, some names you're just never gonna win, right?
You could have thrown me in there, but I guess lack of respect.
Yeah, right.
They asked me.
You're saying that you think you actually don't think you're gonna win, or you're
I actually don't think I am.
Oh, I don't want to
No,
brag that I'm gonna
no, no,
win.
no. I never brag. I never take it for granted. I always say that. They asked me this year if I wanted to go from journalist to personality, if I wanted to change categories.
And you didn't want to?
I was like, I feel like journalist is my thing. I guess it was somewhat of, they were trying to say like, oh, you've evolved, like you're not,
Oh, you're a you reach
no, I
celebrity
just,
status.
no,
Oh
no,
my
celebrity's a person.
God.
You could be, no, just like Jordan. You understand what I'm saying, right? Like I'm
You
not
got
out there.
nervous.
No,
I'm
I'm not.
right.
Why can't you be in both categories?
Yeah, why can't you be in
You know
both?
what? That is a
So you're
great question, Jordan. That is a fantastic question. I don't know. I didn't ask that, but
You can win Offensive Player of the Year and still be the MVP. You know.
you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I didn't
yeah.
ask that. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so do
Do
we
you
think
consider me? Do you consider me more journalist or personality?
well, at first I thought journalist, lately personality.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh. I,
lately.
okay, Jordan, agree or disagree?
I mean, let's hear the people what they say. I think it's personality
I
lately.
mean, if you want to win, journalist is the category. If you
Yeah,
want to
some
have
heavy hitters
another
over there.
category, again, you're not gonna beat our friends Daniel and Chael and John Anik and Laura Sanka. No offense.
Why can't I hang with them? What are you saying? I'm not good enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not.
I
No,
mean,
I
I
just
guess
I think the fan vote, like that portion of it with the personality. People just love
Because
Chael
I'm
and
not on the UFC
DC.
broadcast. I'm not like state sponsored.
well, but you were for so many years.
Yeah, but I'm not now. So many years.
Yes,
That's old.
so and
That's
you have your own show. You're a one-man band.
the last time I was on a UFC broadcast, quote unquote, was 2016, 7 years ago.
Yeah, but you are live on your shows how many days a week? I mean,
No, I'm just saying, you'll always have a leg up if you're a part of the machine.
how many people watch you? What are your views weekly
I
and
don't
all those shows combined?
You think I look at this? I don't have time to look at this. What are
You
you, crazy?
definitely know
I don't look
people.
at this.
You have people looking at this for you.
No, but I will tell you this. I want to let everyone know we are going to ramp things up on the YouTube channel. This is a big year for us, okay? We're approaching a massive year for us, and there's a lot more content to come, including this show, but all kinds of things coming up. Do you want to have your own show without me as well? Do you want to make a pitch for something?
I would love that, but what would I talk about? Gossip?
By the way, you can't say you would love it and not have an idea.
I mean, this is a new thing. You didn't
By the
talk
way,
to me
the
about
the,
it.
the Luci conspiracy hour where you
Oh my
just go
God, I would
deep
love it.
dive.
Imagine me just like rating documentaries, being paid to watch documentaries, which I do it for free.
Right. But what if
Imagine.
you just talked about like the top 5 conspiracies of the week? And did you guys know that there was actually 4 shooters when JFK was shot back in November of 1960?
Right? Could have a podcast about that, although I don't
Just
think
go.
I have the best voice, but um
It's just about the
yeah,
content.
or imagine me like learning how to score MMA and then as I go, I become a pro.
That would be fun. So you'd watch the fights. You'd say, "I think that's a 10, whatever for whatever," and people would
Okay,
get so mad. At me.
now answer me this because the judge, what was it, Mike Bell or what
Yeah,
was his
poor
name?
guy. I actually kind of feel
Why
bad for him.
is it that the judges never have to explain their
Speak.
point?
Now you're speaking my language. This is the biggest complaint of my career. Everyone has to answer for these things. Now I'm going to go on a rant. Everyone has to answer. Dana White has to answer. The promoter has to answer.
But
The
who
coaches,
makes those
the
rules? Is it
Nevada State Athletic Commission or whatever state that they're in. So I talked to the head of the Nevada State Athletic Commission on Monday,
uh,
and I was trying to convince him to put out a statement.
yeah.
First, I tried to convince him to let me speak to Mike, and I said, let's just say I don't know what his point of view is on all this, but if he would have come out, excuse me, and said, in retrospect, I made a mistake.
Hmm.
I think people would have accepted that. Or if he
But
would have
that
come
was
out,
a very big mistake.
oh, it
like,
was 1,000% a big
right?
mistake. Or if he would have come out and said, like, this is why I saw it as such, XYZ, then I'm like, all right, we get an explanation.
But they should have to explain, right? Because also they
1,000%.
owe it to the fighters.
They owe it to the
right?
fighters. They owe it to everyone. I mean, think about Valentina's life, how
Yeah.
different it is now. She went from, if that guy just gives it a 10-9, she's
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
You went 10-8. Why?
Yeah. It
Give
was
us a
right
line.
there, right?
us two
Why
lines.
10-8? Why not, yeah.
And then your pay is different. Where you're fighting next is different. Who
Yeah,
you're fighting,
sponsors,
everything is
everything,
different.
right? Like
Everything.
your life
That
changes.
guy may have, taken millions of dollars away from her, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, but
At one point.
yeah, I would like to see not just this one, but many fights, right? Like the judge actually explaining, okay, that's why we did this. You were right. Dana White, the fighters,
Everyone has
everyone.
to answer for it, and they're not the ones making the decision. It's the one guy who actually makes the decision that affects their lives. He does not get any sort of...
Or if that guy is not gonna go, and say what the reasoning was, at least whoever is representing, that class of judges, the Nevada
the head,
State Commission, that person should,
What if they did something, like in the NBA, they have the last 2 minute report where, they have to explain the controversial call. They can explain, like, I gave this, especially for a 10-8 round. Anything that's not 10-9,
this is what I've been pushing for. Every
right?
sport, and they're somewhat flawed, all of them, but at least every sport has a mechanism in place where after a controversial call, you can go and say, okay, this is the explanation. Except for this sport, which is a judge, like, I hate when people say, don't leave it in the hands of the judges.
But why does I know, right? Why does the commission get to,
because
who's
like
regulating the commission, right?
Yeah, no one. Who's regulating the regulators?
Yeah. Who's the deep state?
Yes,
who's in the deep state?
All comes back to that. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that's so interesting. I wish right after it was like they would give him my and hey, tell
give
me
him my
why
go to the
did you
press
score this way?
conference, put out a statement, do something. Let us know something. It's crazy.
Or tweet.
Tweet, but
he's anything. On Twitter. He's on Twitter.
Wow, you really looked into this, huh?
Oh yeah. I just look at so many
feel bad though, because he is actually a good judge, and I would like to think he just made a mistake for whatever reason. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like a
typing mistake?
I don't know what it was. Honestly, I don't know. But he's not like one of those referees or judges that historically often makes mistakes. Yeah. He's not one of those.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for everyone involved, including Alexa. Alexa's a great champion. She's a great fighter.
I like them both.
Yeah, Valentina's great. I think the most fair thing to do is to run it back. But Valentina, she may have broken her thumb, and that may delay things. So I think what's most fair is Alexa defends the belt against whomever. If Valentina's ready to go, great. The next time Valentina fights, it should be for the belt. So maybe Alexa's next fight is against someone else. See what happens there. But the next time Valentina fights, the most fair thing is...
But then if Alexa loses, I'm not saying she will, but if she does, then
it doesn't matter. She's still fighting for the belt.
But
she's fighting Blanchfield or Fiora. She's fighting someone.
Well, it was a hell of a fight.
It was.
Right?
It was amazing.
Really good fight. There was one. What did you think? The Brazilian guy. There was the thing with the arm.
That was horrible as well. That was worse. But so I have multiple feelings on that. First of all, the referee Chris Tognoni got it wrong. The arm went down, but he wasn't
admitted
out.
it though. Right?
So that was the bad part. The good part was they went and checked, right? And then they looked, and it was right. The bad part was, I think, so they end the fight. I think they should just restart the fight. Just restart it. Just say, okay, let's put you guys back in this position, because if you don't know,
that's a rule like with the athletic commission that once they say it's over, it's over.
Right. But I think just restart the fight, because don't forget, they don't get paid their win money. So now they're both just getting show because there was no winner.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool if they actually could replay it and say, okay, this is what's happened. Let's go back, right?
Right. That's it.
Huh. Yeah, so. I'll confess, when I saw it, because the way we were sitting and the images online, a lot of people actually thought that he slapped, because not just because of the arm, but when he stopped, I guess he did this with his head that almost made you think that he was like just coming back to his senses, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people at the arena thought he was like, no, just accept it. What are you doing, right?
Yeah, but no, it was right to overturn it. The thing I would like to see at that point is just restart the fight. There's no winner. Don't let them go back to the locker room with half their money. Determine a winner. And I think both fighters would be down with that.
Yeah, I wonder if they will just rebook the fight.
They probably will.
Right, soon. Maybe like a next card or something.
I don't know about the next card, because they have to go through a whole...
Oh yeah, because it's already this week and they have it. Yeah.
But, when's your next one?
No. Brazil.
Oh, when is that? November 5th?
4.
4. Right.
That would be 9 years, exactly 9 years since
Wow.
I started.
That
Yeah.
day?
Uh-huh.
November 4th?
November 4th. Yeah,
Wow.
it was like November 4th, November 5th, 2014 when I started in Uberlândia.
Are they gonna acknowledge it on the broadcast? Today we'd like to
I don't think
acknowledge
so. I don't think they keep track
happy
of that.
anniversary. Feliz Navidad. What is it? How do you say happy anniversary?
Parabéns. No.
Parabéns. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And then New
Um,
York the following week.
then New York the following week. Correct. You're right. Yeah. Excited. Just gotta find a good flight.
What do you mean?
It's far away. So there's an F1 race happening in São Paulo, so the flights are like
Oh,
pretty
crazy.
bad. Yeah.
Is that up to you to find the flights?
No, they find it for me, but for example, if I want to get upgraded, I have to pay extra. So I am trying to figure it out in a way that
You
I don't
usually
have to
go
spend
business
a
class.
million. No,
Oh,
economy. But I usually upgrade myself because I have a back pain. I'm an old lady.
right.
But yeah, but it's just so expensive right now that even if I just pay for the upgrade, it's like the cost of a entire trip to Europe.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. I'm like, okay, what can I do? Should I fly to Rio instead of São Paulo and then get another flight?
Oh
I'm just
gosh.
trying to figure it out.
All right. Well, good
Yeah.
luck with that.
Thanks.
We've covered a lot today.
Yeah, a lot of
Hopefully the next time we talk won't be in November. Let's try to be
well,
more
you
consistent.
tell me.
Let's try to be a little more dedicated, okay, to the show. I think we've really gone back on track here. We've opened some wounds, we've opened up some stuff, we've talked about stuff, but we've also accomplished a lot. So it's so good to be back. And if you can just work with the schedule, it would be nice to get rolling again.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You tell me. I'm curious to see what people are gonna say or what
Uh-oh.
the comments are gonna be. Oh my God, they lost their chemistry. It's so negative. Like what
What?
happened?
They
But
lost
Ariel
their chemistry.
Helwani.
I thought it was a great show. I thought we
Yeah, just it got a little negative. Say hi to Brownie. She's
oh, okay.
great.
Hello.
Um, yeah. Okay, just
All
let me
right.
know. I'm here.
All right. Well, that does it for another episode. Please do continue to like, subscribe, all those things and more. If you want more of this program, guess what? You're going to get it. But just let us know. What are the things that you want? I actually had a thing planned that I wanted to do, but we're going to save that for next time because we've run out of time here. So that's a little teaser for next time. Have a great rest of your week. 7. I'm the 10. Signing
Okay.
off. Goodbye.
Bye.